The following recording is one of the 38 workshops presented by and for members of the Adult Children of Alcoholics Fellowship at the 7th Annual ACA World Convention held virtually May 21st and 22nd, 2022. The AWC is hosted by the ACA World Service Organization and was made possible through the dedication and energy of ACA members giving service by sharing their experience, strength, and hope. Please visit the adultchildren.org website for more information about ACA, for worldwide ACA meeting listings, or to make a 7th Tradition contribution. We hope that you enjoy the following workshop from the 7th Annual ACA World Convention, and the theme was Beyond Mere Survival, Action Coming from Love.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our worldwide ACA Fellowship. Welcome to our 7th Annual World Convention. This is the largest gathering of adult children in the world, connecting our ACA members, our family of choice, to each other all around the planet to share experience, strength, and hope as we recover from the effects of dysfunctional childhoods. While the pandemic brought challenges to us all, it also brought us together as a truly global fellowship as we found belonging and connection with others healing from the effects of family dysfunction. This convention is being hosted by the ACA World Services Organization, WSO, and our theme this year is Beyond Mere Survival, Action Coming from Love. We have 38 sessions, over 40 hours around the clock. And my name is I said, Reg. And I'm an adult child. And as I told you already, this session about learning about my inner child. And what I'm going to say is my journey. Preserve everyone's anonymity, spiritual foundation of all our traditions. Please be sure to rename yourself to show only your first and last name initial. This section is being zoomed, the session is being zoomed worldwide, as well as being broadcast on a streaming channel and audio recorded. The audio will be available for listening and download on the adultchildren.org website. Therefore, we ask you not to record any audio, video, or take any pictures of any part of the AWC. We also request you not share the Zoom links on any social media, website, or email list. Registration will be on throughout the event and anybody can register. This is to protect the serenity of the event, and we thank you. During the meeting, all participants will be muted. Chat will be closed to all, but you will be able to contact the host at all times. Please do not send chat messages to the presenter unless prompted to do so. When a volunteer is requested to read or answer a question, please use the Zoom raise hand feature at that time. You'll be asked to unmute when it's your turn to speak. The chat feature will only be open to participants before and after the main session, or if asked by the presenter to post questions. Please remember what you hear at this meeting should remain at this meeting. We do not talk about another person's story or experiences to other people. Please respect the privacy of those who share with us today. While we are on video, please be mindful of others and turn off your video if you're eating, smoking, or not currently in view, i.e. cameras showing you moving around or in public area where other people are present. We meet to share the experience we had growing up in an environment where abuse, neglect, trauma inflicted our childhoods and still affects us today. While our members may be from homes where addiction is present, it is not a requirement. The only requirement for membership in ACA is the desire to recover from the effects of growing up in an alcoholic or otherwise dysfunctional environment. By practicing the 12 steps and accepting that we can't recover alone, we identify with the problem or the laundry list, and we learn to live in the solution. We parent ourselves with gentleness, humor, love, and respect. Please join me in opening our meeting with the ACA Serenity Prayer, whatever language our way calls your heart. Higher power, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the one I can, and the wisdom to know that one is me. Thank you. Now we'll have Ed to read the laundry list. Thank you, Ed. Miigwech, which means thank you. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Rich. I'm Ed. I'm an adult child. The laundry list. 1, we became isolated and afraid of people and authority figures. 2, we became approval seekers and lost our identity in the process. 3, we are frightened of angry people and any personal criticism. 4, we either become alcoholics, marry them, or both, or find another compulsive personality, such as a workaholic, to fulfill our sick abandonment needs. 5, we live life from the viewpoint of victims, and we are attracted by that weakness in our love and friendship relationships. 6, we have an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, and it is easier for us to be concerned with others rather than ourselves. This enables us not to look too closely at our own faults, etc. 7, we get guilt feelings when we stand up for ourselves instead of giving in to others. 8, we became addicted to excitement. 9, we confuse love and pity and tend to love people we can pity and rescue. 10, we have stuffed our feelings from our traumatic childhoods and have lost the ability to feel or express our feelings because it hurts so much. Denial. 11, we judge ourselves harshly and have a very low sense of self-esteem. 12, we are dependent personalities who are terrified of abandonment and will do anything to hold on to a relationship in order not to experience painful abandonment feelings, which we receive from living with sick people who were never there emotionally for us. 13, Alcoholism is a family disease, and we became para-alcoholics and took on the characteristics of that disease, even though we did not pick up the drink. 14. Para-alcoholics are reactors rather than actors.
Again, Chimigwich, thank you very much. And John, could you read the solution for us, please?
Thank you. I'm John, a recovering adult child. The solution. The solution is to become our own loving parent. As ACA becomes a safe place for you, you will find freedom to express all the hurts and fears you have kept inside and to free yourself from the shame and blame that are carryovers from the past. You will become an adult who is imprisoned no longer by childhood reactions. You will recover the child within you, learning to accept and love yourself. The healing begins when we risk moving out of isolation. Feelings and buried memories will return. By gradually releasing the burden of unexpressed grief, we slowly move out of the past. We learn to reparent ourselves with gentleness, humor, love, and respect. This process allows us to see our biological parents as the instruments of our existence. Our actual parent is a higher power whom some of us choose to call God. Although we had alcoholic or dysfunctional parents, our higher power gave us the 12 steps of recovery. This is the action and work that heals us. We use the steps. We use the meetings. We use the telephone. We share our experience, strength, and hope with each other. We learn to restructure our sick thinking one day at a time. When we release our parents from responsibility for our actions today, we become free to make healthful decisions as actors, not reactors. We progress from hurting to healing to helping. We awaken to a sense of wholeness we never knew was possible. By attending these meetings on a regular basis, you will come to see parental alcoholism or family dysfunction for what it is, a disease that infected you as a child and continues to affect you as an adult. You will learn to keep the focus on yourself in the here and now. You will take responsibility for your own life and supply your own parenting. You will not do this alone. Look around you and you will see others who know how you feel. We will love and encourage you no matter what. We ask you to accept us just as we accept you. This is a spiritual program based on action coming from love. We are sure that as the love grows inside you, you will see beautiful changes in all your relationships, especially with your higher power, yourself, and your parents.
Chimigwich. Thank you, John.
Thank you. 12 traditions. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on ACA unity. 2, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as expressed in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3, the only requirement for membership in ACA is a desire to recover from the effects of growing up in an alcoholic or otherwise dysfunctional family. 4, each group is autonomous except in matters affecting the other groups or ACA as a whole. We cooperate with all other 12-step programs. 5, each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the adult child who still suffers. 6, an ACA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AC name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every ACA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, adult children of alcoholics should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. Tradition 9, ACA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10, adult children of alcoholics has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AC name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, TV, films, and other public media. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. Thank you.
Jimmy Gwitch, thank you, Jacqueline. Now, this presentation, which is actually my first presentation ever, and I did smudge with sage before I started because to say I'm not a little nervous would be lying, and it's very, very humbling and gratifying to be able to give back what the ACA has given me, and I'll speak more about that. And it's in 3 sections, which is the introduction of who I am, and basically I identify as Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe is the people of one of the 500 nations that have been on Turtle Island. I got asked, what is Turtle Island? They thought it was just Canada or the States or Mexico, but it's actually all of them. Because if you look on the map, it is in the shape of a turtle. And there's many, many stories about that. And speaking about the stories, I'll be doing some songs and some stories, but I want to remind you that none of these are mine. These are all stories that have been gifted to me through peoples throughout Turtle Island that I have visited, and elders that have been so kind. I will actually start with a song called the Welcome Song. And it's sung throughout the Wabanaki Confederacy out here in the Northeast. Wabanaki Confederacy include the Lanoo, which they call themselves the Lanoo, not the Mi'kmaq or the Micmac. That's what we call them. But I honor them, and the fact that I have the privilege of being here. But it's the Mi'kmaq. It's what you call the Maliseet. They call themselves the Wolastoqey, people of the great and bountiful river, which people call St. John's River. There's also the Pascua-Amudi, and I may not say that properly, but I'll do the best I can. And the Abenaki and the Penobscot. Now, I didn't always know that I had Indigenous roots, but I will talk about that later because, as I say, the first part is introduction. The second part is a guided meditation where No Reggie is going to be really happy because I get to play flute. And it's actually a guided meditation that's found in the Big Red Book on page 276. And I'll do the preparation from actually the Loving Parent Guidebook on page 222. So, and the third part of my presentation is Introduction to the 7 Sacred Teachings, or if you want to call them 7 Grandfather Teachings, and how they relate to my ACA healing journey, because it all starts right here, right inside of me. And if you've noticed, I am wearing an orange shirt. Now, for me, that means a lot, and it's this first worn by Phyllis Webstad from the Shuswap First Nation in BC, British Columbia. And history of it is it was gifted to her by her grandmother when she first went to residential school. And when she got to school, they took away all her clothes and clean her brand new shirt that she got from her grandmother. And of course, there was no return. For me, I wear it because to witness and honor the healing journey of the residential school survivors and those that are with us in spirit. And it's also to help the wounded child within here, and to have that wounded child within Hill is for me to have ACA in my life. So the song I'm going to start with, this is my first drum that I ever made. I make drums. It's called the Welcome Song for obvious reasons. And I'll be singing it in Wolastoqey in Maliseet. And it was taught to me by my first elder on my first fast. And I'll speak a little more about that later. So what I do first, I'll hit it 4 honor beats. And that's to wake up the spirit of the drum. For me, everything, both animate and inanimate, has a spirit. Everything is alive in the eyes of our Creator. Hey, cuando te hacía cuando te hey, cuando te hacía yo hacía hey, cuando te hacía cuando te hey, cuando te hacía hey, cuando te cuando te hey, cuando te hacía hey, cuando te hacía cuando te hey, cuando te hacía hey, cuando te hacía cuando te hey, cuando te hacía yo language. So you notice that I sang the verses 4 times. That's the honor of the 4 cardinal directions, but there are actually 7. We all are used to east and south and west and north, but of course there's Mother Earth and Father Sky, and the most sacred direction of all, us, our spirit, for me, our inner child. And it's also for the 4 states of essence of who I am: my physical, my mental, my emotional, my spiritual. I really do have to watch the time here, so I don't want to go over too much. So, who am I? My name is Reg, and I'm one of a family of 9, and I'm the baby boy of the family. I'm 69 years young. Is what I'd say. I'm starting my 70th journey around the sun. And I'm the baby boy of the family by 10 minutes because, of course, I'm an identical twin. I grew up in the 50s, and my father was an alcoholic. He fought in the front lines in the Second World War. He came back with PTSD, but they didn't call it that then. So I lived my childhood filled with fear every waking moment, terror about what my father would do next. He was a hard rock miner, so he did leave them. But when he came back, he was even worse. I've been abused, and all of us young siblings have been abused physically, mentally, sexually by my father and his drunken drugs. My mother was a beautiful soul, very religious. As I used to say, she's holier than the Pope, but I think that was her way of finding peace and solitude. She taught me how to sing. She taught me how to dance. She taught give joy in my life and all our lives as children. But she too was abused many, many times. She actually stood in front and took our beatings. We'd get a beating for looking at my dad sideways. I can't remember how many times I seen my dad drunk underneath the kitchen table. So that childhood of mine made me very, very quiet, very introverted, very, very shy. And of course, my twin brother, his reaction was the opposite. So we were kind of the yin and yang of each other. So, and it gave me some solitude. But who was I? I didn't know who I was up to 5 or 6 because we're never known as Reg and Ron. That's his name. We're always known as the twins, dressed identical, the whole thing. But of course, our personalities were our own. When I come into my teenage years, we moved around a lot. So the first 6, 7 years of my school years, we're always in a different town, sometimes in a different province. I was born in Ontario, but we moved out west in 63. And in 53 Chev owned a homemade trailer in the back. And we were going to where my dad was because there was no place else for us to go. And we finally settled down in one place, bought a house, but my dad would never be around to help. And when he was around, as I told you, it was very stressful. So by the time I was 15 years old, I was in the hospital, very sick with a duodenal ulcer because the stress is just too much for me. I remember most of the family, except for my little sister. When the boys stopped going to school, they had to leave. My oldest brother left at 15, but I kept going. As much despite my father as to protect my mother and to learn, as I've always enjoyed learning. And as I've gotten older, I found out the more I learn, the less I know. That gives joy to my inner child, by the way. It really does. And I'd like to speak now about my adulthood. As a young adult, I did the drugs, I did the alcohol. I was a child of the 60s. Thankfully, I didn't get into the end of the hard drugs, or I may not be here talking to you today. It's only because of that reason that I found out that my life didn't have to be the way it was. It wasn't until 16 years ago that I found out I had Indigenous heritage. Why? Because my father was ashamed of it. My father was ashamed to be called an Indian. And people throughout Turtle Island, First Nations, don't mind that. They changed our name so many different times that we're getting used to it now. So we just call ourselves by who we are, our nation. And it's with that 16 years ago that I started my healing journey. But I still had my survival traits. My survival traits were there when I first read the laundry list. I said, "Oh, Leah, how do they know that's me? How could they even possibly know?" And then I had that realization, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this. And it actually gives me spirit shivers just thinking of it, because it was a way of life that I never knew was possible. So with me, I first in the West was embraced by the people of the Northwest Coast. They embraced me. They taught me how to make a drum, how to make a flute. Very first time, how to make rattles. Very first time I played my flute was at a chief naming ceremony. Talk about nervous now, and I'm not so nervous anymore for some reason. That's because the creators helped me. I found that there was something inside that I finally had that hole that was inside me for long started filling. That inner child that had all those doors, all those rooms and hiding in a corner, all crawled up and terrified, started to come out. There's the sound of the drum. It was the dance. It was the opening up of my heart. I was accepted into their activities and their ceremonies. And for that, I will always be in turn humbled. But it wasn't really till I moved east. I'm retired since I've been 60, so it's been 9 years now since I've moved to the Eastern Canada that I really, really started with my spiritual journey. It really progressed. My first sweat lodge. And again, this is the similarities between ACA and our teachings. Because what's seen, said, or heard in the lodge stays in the lodge. You're allowed to speak and pray in any way you want, with no repercussions, no judgment. They are both spiritual ways of life based on actions coming from love. We started creating sacred drum circles. So we invite people to come and drum with us. We have drums from all over the world. Every drum is sacred, as I said. Djembes from Africa, shikos, tombaks, doumbeks, darbukas. From Indonesia, hand drums. From Tibet, hand drums, singing bowls. And we embrace people and they say, well, what does it cost? And just your loving time, your precious time. And what do I bring? Just a beautiful heart. No, I'm honored to be a pipe carrier. I carry the people's pipe. Pipe carrier has both a privilege, an honor, and a duty to live their lives in a good way. And I've done a fast, 4 fast. What is a fast, you ask? It's where you go under the guidance of an elder or elders for 4 days, 4 nights, no food, no water, just to know who you are, just to know yourself and to know what the Mi'kmaq call umset nogan, all our relations, to know all our relations, because I believe everything is related to me and me to it. We're all interconnected. We're all one. So after my 4th fast, I was told what I was fasting for. And that's to be a lodge conductor, as we like to say, to pour water. And to be part of that beautiful ceremony. And ceremony saved my life. Now, ceremony to me means being at the meetings as well. The ACA meetings to me are ceremony. And that brings me to ACA itself. I'm only 20 months into ACA. 20 months. And even though I've had the spiritual background, I had these traits. no matter how hard I tried, it would not leave me. It wouldn't go away until I found out about ACA. And I realized not only are the traits there, but the solution is there too. 20 months and it's a different life. 20 months. And I look back on it now and I fear I'm reminded that I do not live my life with regret because I live it. That's for me, that's living in the past. And I do not live my life with worry because that's living in the future. Once I came to the realization that all I have is now, that's all I'll ever have, then I had to find a way to find peace and serenity in my life. And I know I wouldn't have found that without ACA. The understanding I found in the meetings, that the fellowship, the beauty of sharing, the readings, everything, the big red book and beyond is just encompassing my inner child and say, wow, Reg. My inner child's name's Reggie. And as I said, the similarity of the experiences is very serendipity. I do not believe in coincidence. Everything happens to it for a reason. Even the person that introduced me to ACA 21 months ago, I didn't even know ACA existed. There's a beautiful friend that said, offhandedly, check this out. Why? Because at that time in my life, I was very, very down. And when I speaking after the meditation about the sacred teachings, and the second one is honesty. I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't being honest with my wife. I lied. It's as simple as that. I lied. And why? If it wasn't for ACA, I wouldn't understand why I lied. Why, when I look back, lying had been a great part of my life. I pretend I was okay when I wasn't. I say things were there when they were somewhere else. Why? Because I felt protected when I did that. But then I found out why I lied. The truth of why I lied. I lied. I lied because I couldn't tell people what kind of childhood I had. I was so ashamed of it. I was so ashamed of where it come from and what had happened to me that I didn't want anybody else to know. So it never brought anybody close to me either. And by that realization, by that understanding, it brought them closer to me. It started to bring my inner child out, and my loving parent is who I call my higher power. For me, the name of my higher power is Humanity, Great Spirit. For the Maliseet Elastic Way, they have a beautiful name as well. It's called Gachimundo, the Great Mystery. Because the Great Spirit can come in many, many ways. From a blade of grass, I feel the Great Spirit, the song of the sparrow. I see the Great Spirit in the waving from brother wind of trees, who I call the standing ones because they too are alive. I touch the Great Spirit when I bend down in the forest and feel the beauty of the moss and the stream. So me, that's a way that I'm always in touch with the Great Spirit. And there's one more thing I want to speak about on my path here, and that's about actually how forgiving my father. I tried to forgive him when he died in 2011. I wrote him an 18-page letter, rolled each page up in sage, and burned it in sacred fire. I felt I had to do that because I had to get on with my life, but that didn't work. And it wasn't until I joined ACA that I found a way. And this was only recent. And it's thanks to Tony A. Because I looked at my father's inner child. I looked at that spirit little inside of him. I put them in my arms. I hugged him and rocked him and said, it's going to be okay. I love you. And then I forgave him because I wanted to. And it took such a weight off of me. It changed me inside. And it still does to this day. Just let me get a drink of water here. We'll continue with part 2. So, this is my Native American flute. And I'll just prepare this here. As you notice, I don't have any slides, but that's all good. As the creator says, you have this, right? And I have the support of all of you. For that, I'm Chi Miigwech. So to start this, I would like to start it with the flute. And I would like you first to just close your eyes and don't listen with your ears, but listen with your heart. I'm just going to turn off my video here. To begin, find a quiet and comfortable space without distraction. Find a position that helps you stay alert and comfortable. Your eyes can be open with a soft gaze to one spot or closed. Please take care of yourself during this guided practice if it becomes too intense for you. If you move out of your challenge zone, try opening your eyes and looking around your space, listening to the sounds of the room, or feeling how your body is supported by the chair or whatever surface you're sitting or laying. Take a moment to settle in and feel your breath, or listen to the sounds of your space. If you choose the breath, pay attention to the part of your body where the breath feels most comfortable for you. That could be your nostrils, belly, or the rise and fall of your shoulders. Pay attention to that one place. Take a few slow breaths, feeling your breath. Let any thoughts that you might have fade away. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Gently bring yourself back to the present moment and put your attention on the breath or sounds. Continue to breathe naturally. Imagine that you're sitting on a warm beach. The weather is pleasant and not too hot. The beach is secluded but safe. You can feel the warmth, sand beneath your feet as you stand up and look out on the calm blue ocean. White seagulls are diving for fish, and the smell of seawater is refreshing. You're wearing a t-shirt, loose trousers, and a floppy hat to protect to block the sun. In front of you, near the shoreline, you see an image of yourself when you're 6 or 8 years old. Your inner child is bent at the waist, picking up starfish and seashells. The child notices you and waves you over. You walk up to the child, and the child reaches out and places a starfish in one of your hands. You smile and feel the bristles of the tiny starfish tickling you. Your inner child smiles and squints to block the friendly sun. The child reaches out and grips your hand. The child's skin has been warmed by sun rays. You both begin walking along the beach. You notice the child's soft hair and sensitive touch as you walk. The child trusts you and giggles softly each time a wave washes up shore and almost touching your feet. You walk for many moments, chatting softly, but paying attention to the child's innocence and imagination. You want to protect the child. You notice two people ahead, and they seem familiar, so you keep walking towards them. Your inner child squeezes your hand and moves slightly behind you as he moves closer to the couple. The child becomes shy, pushing into your leg from behind. You keep walking. You recognize the couple before you reach them. They are your parents, waiting for you to walk up. They grin at you and your inner child. They ask if you can walk with the child. You feel your stomach tighten. You look down at your inner child to find the child pressed into your legs from the back. The child you and won't let go of your hand. You smile at your parents, but ask them to wait for another day to walk the child. You and your inner child walk up the beach away from your parents and sit down. The child looks over his shoulder, climbs into your lap, and sits down. You hold your inner child. You both watch your parents walk away. The sun is lower now, but it's still warm. Your inner child naps. You are safe. Your inner child is safe. You're going to make it. You know what you are doing. You can trust yourself to take care of your inner child. You can trust yourself to love. Continue to meditate and hold your inner child. When you're ready, stop. Gently with the child. Walk the child to your cottage and tuck it into bed. After putting the child to bed, back out of the room, counting slowly backwards from 10. And then open your eyes. Jimmy, good for letting me do that meditation for you. And my time is starting to run out here, so I'm may not get a chance to do much more. Yeah, that's the way Spirit says, so that's the way it actually goes. And so I will have to do this part a little quicker, I would say. I just wanted to mention quickly, and about the 7 sacred teachings, and I could spend hours on this, but and how they relate to me in my healing journey. The first one is respect, and in our teachings is to honor all of creation, is to have respect. And with ACA, respect is the first thing I had to learn, is respect for myself. Honesty, as I'd mentioned already, is what brought me to ACA. And to be honest, my actions and my character and to walk through life with integrity, tell the truth is to be honest. And the reason I joined ACA is this, because of that lack of honesty. Truth and trust are the third. To tell the truth is to be trustworthy. For me, it's to do the right thing, even if no one is watching. Integrity, something I had lacked so much of in my life. In ACA, the lack of speaking the truth caused lack of trust in my life. And I found that trust can be easily lost and difficult to bring back. And ACA has taught me how to trust in myself and to trust in others and to see the good in everything in a positive light, in a good way. The fourth teaching is love. To know love is to know peace. To give and feel an absolute kindness for all things around. For me, love is the greatest force in the universe. It gives me a really sense of that serenity and peace that I feel that whole. And to have both my beautiful spiritual ways of life come together as one, come together because there are both actions based on love, is such a beautiful experience. And 5, courage and bravery. And I wish I had time, and I've been trying to do this. And bravery was my courage was going to my first meeting, right? Courage to take that first step, the courage to speak my first share, the courage to know that I needed help and to ask for it. I do have a story, but I see I'm starting to run out of time. And I never thought I'd be able to speak this long. But the Spirit says for me to tell it anyway, so I will. And this is a story that's not mine, but it comes from the Haida. And it's the hummingbird story. A long time ago, when the great thunderbird still soared the skies above Turtle Island. He flashed his eyes and there'd be lightning. He flapped his wings and there'd be thunder. One day he was flying over Haida Gwaii, the home of the Haida. and he seen something that caught his eye, glint. So he looked down and flashed his eyes. And when he did that, lightning came down. And lo and behold, it started a great fire. A huge fire in the trees like wire. At that time, huge trees. So this fire caught quickly. And it started getting more and more intense. And in this was all the other animals. Lived a hummingbird. And the hummingbird had just made a nest with his mate at the top of a very tall spruce tree. But he's seeing that fire coming closer and closer to his home. And it was getting larger and larger. So he went down to ask his brothers and sisters for help. Can you not help me? He says, can you not help me? My family's up there because the babies had just been born, so he had two small little ones. Can you not help me, please? Please help me. Help me understand. Help me put out this fire. The great bear says, this fire is too large. We cannot help you, brother. So he went off to Brother Wolf, went off to brothers and sisters everywhere, the rabbit, the porcupine. All of them had told him the same thing. It is too large. We cannot help you. But finally, he said, that's enough. And he went down to a lake and he brought back one drop of water. Brought back one drop of water. Hummingbirds can go really fast, over 90 kilometers an hour. So about 60 miles an hour. So that was very fast. But it still was only one drop. The animals in the forest look at him and say, what are you doing? You're crazy. You can't do this. This is impossible. And he says, I have to. This is my family. This is all I have. I need to help my family. So he kept going. He kept going. But little did he know that the Creator was watching. There was one other that was watching, and the Creator was watching. And the Creator smiled, and the clouds started to form. The Creator smiled again, and the rain came down in a deluge and put out the fire. The teaching for that for me is about my inner child as well. That nothing is impossible. And ACA has shown me that. And it will always show me that. Because my healing journey is just beginning. And until I take the longest walk, I'm short time on this great mother, but the longest walk I take is in spirit. I will be ever grateful to each and every single one of you. Each and every one of you in ACA for what you have given. I think I am done. So if we can do the closing, if you're still there, Alaska.
I am right here. So let's see. Is it the promises first?
Yes.
All right. Mm.
This takes me a second to bring myself back here again.
Okay, well, actually, I think we're going to talk about volunteering.
Okay.
And then we will get to the classes and Claudia B. All right.
Okay.
So, uh,
Okay. Volunteering for service. Doing service in ACA is a great way to strengthen your program. You can help carry the message and make a difference in another ACA member's life by giving service. The ACA World Convention is made possible through the dedication and energy of your fellow ACA members, giving service to them a place of love. If you feel called to volunteer for service, please click the link below that's in the chat. Follow the prompt and it will help direct you to the committee that best matches your area's interests. Seventh tradition.
whoops.
It's all good.
There we go.
Everything is a teaching. It's all good. The seventh tradition. Our seventh tradition states every ACA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. We ask that you consider making a seventh tradition by clicking the link in the chat box. And adultchildren.org, seventh tradition. We're delighted to announce a new function and more new functionality and more options have been added to the seventh tradition link. So now you donate in your local currency in a variety of ways, such as credit card, PayPal, Venmo, JCB, Diners Club, Google, and Apple Pay. Thank you. T. Migwitz. The promises. The promises. By the way, number 7 is my favorite. 1, we will discover our real identities by loving and accepting ourselves. 2, our self-esteem will increase as we give ourselves approval on a daily basis. 3, fear of authority figures and the need to people please will leave us. 4, our ability to share intimacy will grow inside us. 5, as we face our abandonment issues, we will be attracted by strengths and become more tolerant of weaknesses. 6, we will enjoy feeling stable, peaceful, and financially secure. 7, we will learn how to play and have fun in our lives. 8, we will choose to love people who can love and be responsible for themselves. 9, healthy boundaries and limits will become easier for us to set. 10, fears of failure and success will leave us as we intuitively make healthier choices. 11, with help from our ACA support group, we will slowly release our dysfunctional behaviors. Finally, 12, gradually, with our higher power's help, will learn to expect the best and get it. Now, we believe that through the 12-step program of ACA Chat, we no longer live life from the basis of fear. We live self-care and love. Let me leave you with these thoughts as you make your journey through the steps. Listen to your inner child, not with fear, but with openness. Love this child for all she or he has had to defend against. Know that feelings are to be listened to. They're cues and signals that indicate where you are from and what you need. Mistakes are a sign of growing. Remember, be gentle with yourself. Success is not relative to others. It's a feeling of love and accomplishment for yourself. Recovery is accepting yourself for who you are, no longer waiting for others to define you or approve of you. It's safe to take time to play today. Play fuels your creativity, tickles your inner child, and it nurtures your soul. May you respond with the vulnerability of your child, but with the strength of your adult. Surround yourself with people who respect and treat you well. In faith, one finds strength to survive time with great fear and sadness. And I would like to close with the ACs. That's all the time we have for sharing today. And many thanks to all you listening and holding space. Listening is often the greatest support we can offer and receive. I would especially thank the tech hosts and all those who give service and at this convention this year. Now everyone will be allowed to unmute so we can all close with the ACA Serenity Prayer in your language. Higher Creator,
May the Spirit teach me to accept the people I cannot change, courage to change the one I can, to know
and the wisdom
one is made.
to know
One is made.
para que pueda ser quizás mucho.